I'm Patrick Gavin, Politico. It is now time to turn the table. CBS News' Nancy Cordes. Nancy, as you know, the big news out of New Jersey this week with Governor Christie's very lengthy press conference in New Jersey yesterday. Let's take him at his word and let's assume, for the sake of this argument, that he was telling the truth. Because obviously if he wasn't, he's got a whole set of new problems to deal with. Assuming he was telling the truth, what are the implications for him politically based on what sort of came out during yesterday's press conference? Does it still have fallout for him, or is this thing going to just sort of dissipate as we see some accountability being focused solely on his aides?
I don't see it dissipating anytime soon, Patrick. I mean, we're just at the start of this investigation. You now have the FBI getting involved. We haven't heard anything from the aide who's at the heart of this scandal, who's Bridget Ann Kelly. What's she going to say about why she decided to do this, about whether anyone told her to do it? There's still a lot that we don't know. And so while I think Governor Christie answered a lot of questions at that press conference, that doesn't mean that all of the questions have been answered.
Well, and obviously he, as you mentioned, he took a long time in making sure that he addressed all the questions that were answered to him. How did he come off? What is sort of the consensus on how he came off? Did he come off as, you know, very open and truthful and forthright and blunt, or did he come off as, you know, perhaps just dithering on a quite lengthy press conference?
Well, you know, I thought it was interesting. A lot of people took what he said, the fact that he repeatedly said that he had fired these top aides because they lied to him, because they disappointed him, because they betrayed him. A lot of people said that that was very self-serving and very self-pitying, and that he really should have fired them because they caused this massive inconvenience to New Jersey drivers for political reasons. The way I read that was him protecting these employees in a way. He knows that there are civil and criminal investigations possibly that are just now getting underway. He doesn't want to be judge and jury and say, I fired them because they did this as retribution. He knows that that is going to put them in a world of trouble if there is a criminal investigation. And so he went with, I fired them because they lied to me.
Well, switching tracks slightly, one of the other big topics that Washingtonians are talking about is Bob Gates' new memoir. It's actually not even out yet. But I want to get your take on, from what you've read, what are some of the more interesting nuggets from it? And also, a side debate that's been happening over it is whether Bob Gates sort of divulged too much, meaning talked a lot about some of these insider private conversations that some people think should remain off the record. What has been your takeaway so far from what you've read about the book?
Well, as a congressional correspondent, I'm obviously most fascinated by what he said about Capitol Hill. And when you look at the book and what he said, he really saved his most withering criticism for members of Congress. I know that he had some very explosive comments about the president and the vice president, but he really went into great length about how much he hated testifying on Capitol Hill, that it was really like walking into a sort of fun house where people were, I think, you know, he used various terms to describe people he basically thought were crazy with the kinds of questions that they were asking the Secretary of Defense. And he said he had to sort of gird himself every time he went in there from wanting to just sort of, you know, throw the microphone at one point and say, you know what, you're not going to have Bob Gates to kick around anymore. So, you know, I think that that is reasonable criticism in a way. A lot of these hearings are about who can sort of have the wildest soundbite, who can push someone who's testifying to the edge where they say something sort of explosive. There are a lot of questions in those hearings that aren't meant to really get at the truth, but are meant to grandstand or to sort of shine the light back on the questioner.
All right, Nancy, tell us about what we can expect to see in Face the Nation this Sunday.
Well, Bob's got a great show this weekend. Senator Marco Rubio is going to be on. He's going to be talking about some of his new poverty proposals that he unveiled this week. John Wisniewski, he's the New Jersey Assemblyman who's actually running the investigation in New Jersey's legislature into this bridge debacle. He's going to be on with Bob. Billie Jean King, the star tennis player, will be talking to Bob about the Sochi Olympics. And he's got a great political panel. John Harris of Politico, Rana Foroohar, Jerry Seib, and Michael Gerson will all be on the show, so you'll want to tune in.
I think I'm required by law to watch if John Harris is on your show.
Exactly. He's going to be quizzing you on Monday morning.
Exactly. All right, Nancy Cordes with CBS News. Thanks a lot for joining us.
Sure thing.